larger cell to accommodate the LTE radio. And besides, sealing the battery is what allowed HTC to put together this gorgeous, seamless plastic shell. Seriously, everything about this design is meticulous. From the micro-drilled grills for the loudspeaker and earpiece, to the smartly placed dock contact pads that are aligned in such a way that they become a design feature on their own. Looking at the software, Sense 4, the latest version of HTC's Android skin, is debuting on the One series, and it's obvious that HTC has been listening to complaints from customers and people like us. There are still some Sense trademarks here, like the Ring lock screen that gives you shortcut access to 4 apps, and of course the instantly recognizable flip clock widget. But a bunch of things have been cleaned up. The home screen dock is now fully configurable, which means you're not stuck with a permanent personalize button, and the recent apps list has been removed from the notification curtain, which makes more room for, notifications. Sense 4 is also based on Android 4.0, which means you've got the Roboto font throughout the system, access to Chrome for Android, and the task switcher, though HTC has mixed it up a bit. Unlike stock Android, HTC's switcher is a full-screen app. It isn't overlaid on the screen. It only lets you see one app thumbnail at a time. Seems a little wasteful to me, particularly considering this gorgeous 4.7-inch display. It's not an exaggeration for me to tell you that this is the best display I've ever seen on a phone. It's nearly perfect. The 312 ppi pixel density puts it into Retina territory. The color reproduction is absolutely superb and is laminated, meaning you can tilt it 90 degrees in either direction and it literally looks like it's at the surface of the glass. And because it's an LCD, colors don't look blown out, it's not pentile, and you don't run into as much trouble in direct sunlight as you do on some AMOLEDs. The only complaint anyone could possibly have about it, in fact, is that it's too big. 4.7 inches might be a bit large for smaller hands, or people who are used to something like an iPhone, which is 3.5 inches, or an original 4-inch Galaxy S. The One X isn't without its flaws, though. I actually don't think Sense 4 goes far enough toward toning down the experience. I've gotten really used to stock ICS on the Galaxy Nexus over the last few months, and Sense still seems overwrought and overdesigned by comparison, with unnecessary transitions, bright colors, and feature tweaks that don't really do the user any good. And the 8-megapixel camera, a headline feature on this phone, produced surprisingly soft images that I could instantly pick out as coming from a camera phone rather than a point-and-shoot. I had really high hopes for the sensor on the One X, so that was a big disappointment. Would I recommend the One X, though? Absolutely, without hesitation, especially now that HTC is really embracing the hacker community and making it easier for folks to replace the ROM if they like. This hardware, with a less in-your-face UI, would be close to the perfect Android device. The only question is whether you want the One X's great display or the One S.